Today, I'm going to show you a quick and easy recipe for carne con papas. This is going to be good. Here I have my ingredients. I'm working with a pound of lean ground beef. I'm also working with about 5 small potatoes. Here I have some beef bouillon powder I'll be adding into the mix. I have half of a small onion diced, 2 cloves of garlic minced, an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Here I will be using whole cumin seeds and black peppercorns that I just kind of crushed up. I'll also be adding some water into the mix, so let's get started. Here in a preheated pan, I'm going to add some cooking oil. Maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons works for this. I am working with lean ground beef. I'm going to saute my onions first, and I'm working with like a medium heat. And I'm just going to saute the onions until they become aromatic and translucent. To the onions, I'm going to add a pinch of salt and continue the saute. Now I'm going to add my pound of lean ground beef, and it's going to go right into the pan. And I'm going to break this apart and start to season it. So I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon or so of salt to start with. Here I have some onion powder, like a teaspoon of granulated garlic powder is going to go in. I'm also adding my fresh garlic. Now I'm adding a teaspoon of that black peppercorn cumin seed mix that I kind of crushed and grinded up. I'm also going to add like a teaspoon and a half of beef bouillon powder. And I'm just going to continue to combine and cook the ground beef. For the potatoes, I'm using gold potatoes, and I cut them into slices and then I cut them in half. Some of the larger pieces I cut in half. Here I just started cutting them into chunks. I was kind of all over the place. I'm adding that into the pan, and I'm going to saute the potatoes along with the cooked ground beef. This is going to take some time, maybe 5 to 7 minutes over a medium to medium high heat to saute the potatoes. I'm going to add a little bit of salt, maybe like a ½ teaspoon of salt, to sort of season or salt the potatoes, and just continue the saute. The reason why I call this easy carne con papas is because I'm using ground beef. Typically, I do like to use a cheap cut of steak or a stew meat, but this is what I'm working with today. So I'm going to add just a little bit of fresh cilantro. That's optional for those that don't like it. And now I'm going to add that 8 ounces of tomato sauce. Now, when my family makes this, or my grandmother or my mom, they actually like to blend up tomatoes, like whole Roma tomatoes with garlic into the mix, but I'm working with a canned tomato sauce. So I'm going to add a little water into the can of tomato sauce to get some residual sauce out of there. And actually, I should have just filled it up. So I'm going to add in all a cup of water into this pan because I want this to simmer and cook the potatoes through. So I'm going to give this a really good mix. I'm going to cover with a lid and let it simmer for about 10 to 12 minutes or until your potatoes are cooked through. By the way, I'm going to be serving this with a Mexican style white rice with vegetables. I will be posting the recipe video for this soon enough, but this goes perfect with my carne con papas. It's so good. Okay, so at this point, my carne con papas should be done. And I'm just going to lift the lid, give it a stir. You'll always want to taste things for seasoning and salt and adjust to your preference. Sometimes I like to toss bay leaf in there. Sometimes I like to add Mexican oregano. It really just depends on what aromatics and flavors you prefer. So this is done and I'm ready to serve it. So to serve this, I'm going to just add scoops of my Mexican style white rice with veggies right onto a plate. And then I'm just going to add my carne con papas, or my ground beef and potatoes, right on top. This goes great with flour or corn tortillas. It really is up to you. This is a comforting dish in my opinion, and it's so easy to make. So I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it. and thanks for watching.